Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. As we get closer to the finishing line of the race to the 2019 elections, with the scheming and the plotting getting thicker and thicker by every passing day, the question remains, what should be the parameter for choosing Nigeria's next commander-in-chief? Joining us this morning to discuss this is political analyst Ogbeni Lanre Banjo. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Well, before we talk about the elections, the coming elections in Nigeria, I mean, you used to live in the United States. You were even a treasurer to a member of the House of Representatives. And since you returned home, America has had a President Trump. What's your impression about President Donald Trump? What do you think of him? Because I know many Nigerians are also very much concerned about where America is now in terms of presidential leadership.
Well, I will say what someone said earlier when President Trump was sworn in, that it's good for America to have a taste of the kind of, the type of leadership that African countries have been having all these years. I mean, that's it's good for them to really feel it. I think, since we all refer to God on this side of the world, I think is the plan of the Lord to actually use Donald Trump to unsettle certain things in the United States of America. But I'm concerned about Nigeria now.
Okay. Now you are concerned about Nigeria. That's good because you are here.
Yes.
You've tried to run for the office of governor.
3 times.
3 times in Ogun State.
Yes.
But now another election, general election is ahead.
Yes.
We have over 70 presidential candidates.
Yes.
They've been, telling us about their manifestos. If you look at the 2 leading candidates, the 2 leading parties, what do you make of their manifestos? President Buhari says he wants to take us to the next level, right? Former Vice President Atiku is saying he wants to make Nigeria great again. What do you make of their proposals?
Well, Chief Gani Fawemi fought for registration of political parties so that we will not have to narrow ourselves to 2 political parties. I do understand, like a renowned psychologist told me once, that human beings tend to process or react to information as what psychologists call cognitive missile. And what that means is that they really tend to stick to what they know rather than what they don't know, even though somebody fought for alternatives for them. President Buhari has a record now that Nigerians should look into. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar served under President Olusegun Obasanjo. President Olusegun Obasanjo gave him a portfolio as the Vice President. We should look into his performance when he was in position. But frankly speaking, having been born in Nigeria over 61 years ago, any leader that does not develop human being, develop its citizens, to me, is not a good leader. There are many Nigerians all over the world. They are excelling. We are competing with the lighter people of the world, and we are excelling. Why can't we do it here? Why are we bringing foreigners when we have Nigerians who can do it? Why every little time we refer to IMF, we refer to international world? Why? Why? So I'm judging all our leaders based on those parameters. I also disagree when they say, what is the present issue now? They say unemployment. I totally disagree.
Okay.
Because without electricity, without energy, how can you generate this employment? Without you encouraging your citizens to perform, to really do what God sent them to this world to do, how can we generate employment? So when I look at those parameters,
well, I mean, yes, I mean, we've hosted a number of persons on this program to talk about power, energy, electricity supply, and all that. But yes, you need it for industrialization, for keeping people busy and all that. But the bulk of the Nigerian population lives in the rural areas where there's no electricity. Are you saying that, you know, that's a lost segment of the population, that they are not productive because they don't have electricity?
Of course, if you wake up in the morning, you don't have energy, you will not be able to get out of your bed. It's simple. So energy is crucial. Whether it's in rural area, in the urban area, we need energy. Now, we cannot confine it to employment generation alone. How do you go to school using candles, using lanterns to study? How do lecturers, do teachers teach when they are using candles or lanterns to prepare, if they even do it?
But this administration is claiming that they've done a lot in terms of electricity supply. The Minister of Power, Works and Housing is always saying, look, we have generated so much, we have done so much. Maybe it's where you live that there's no regular electricity supply. Maybe it's the disco in charge of your area that is not delivering.
I don't dance to disco.
All right.
No, disco, I mean...
I know what you mean. I just said that on the line. But the point is that we, not where I live, we are all Nigerians. We live in this country. Yoruba always say, there's a proverb in Yoruba that says, if you give a madman a horse, he's going to use it to draw the land, or whatever, cultivate the land to himself. So I don't expect Minister Babatunde Fashola to say anything other than that. But that's a no-brainer because I live here. I know we don't have light. That is one. Two, I once accused him when he made an analysis in the Vanguard that is a matter of demand and supply. And they increased under this administration. The cost of electricity was increased so that disco, non-disco, can generate and distribute. I think that's unfair to Nigerians. You want to do your business, go and look for money, go to the capital market and borrow money to do your business, then charge me. Once it's available, I'll be able to pay. Now they are charging Nigerians for light, for electricity we are yet to get.
All right, let's look at the policy documents of both candidates. That's the Buhari and Atiku's policy documents. Atiku is pledging that he would be giving 20,000 megawatts of electricity. And Buhari is saying that it will be 24 hours of electricity. However, is electricity measured by hours? I mean, how would you analyze both documents?
First of all, they are doing this, they are engaging a wrong approach to this electricity.
Okay.
They are fostering unitary form of government. And that doesn't make people like me happy. I think they should leave every state alone. Why should I be president of NEPA? Why should I be stay in Abuja and be worrying about Ogun State electricity? Let each state generate its own. They can come together as a region and do its own. Whether Atiku will be able to do it is left to be seen. Buhari promised more output before he got into power. Only God knows what goes on when they get into power. I don't know. They are the only one who can say that. But all these promises and promises we've had before. But if we really want to solve Nigerian problem, we need to look at our constitution. We need to trust that constitution because it says, we the people, when we the people do not write that constitution.
So much is said about the political parties and the candidates who are vying for this position. Way back in 2011, when you were vying for the seat for the governorship in Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, you granted an interview to the Voice of America where you said that the people are the problems of Nigeria, that the people themselves are not serious and they deserve the kind of leaders they get. Do you still share that opinion?
That was my opinion at that particular time. What is happening in Nigeria today threatens that. First of all, let me thank you so much because most Nigerian journalists don't even research. So for you to have dug that up and brought that up, I must commend you. Yes, Nigerians are the problems. I mean, I have been attacked 3 times. Not by the children of those in power, but by the children that I'm trying to save. Okay, that is one. Nigerians, that's why I quoted what psychologists say. Nigerians behave as if their brains have been padlocked, spiritually padlocked. Because you'll be talking to them as people who have brain to reason, but they will just refuse to reason. Now, how will you take 5,000 naira for a vote and sell your future? How would they tell you when power were about to get out of those who are gagging us, who are shocking us? They say, oh, let's do direct primary. I have been fighting for direct primary since 2003 that I get involved in this politics. But when they do it, is there any infrastructure? Because it wasn't planned. Okay? No one can tell me that whether APC or PDP who have done these direct primaries, that members of NCP did not vote. Members of PDP did not go to get some money and then go to APC and vote. No one could say that. And I accuse a couple of them who told me, meaning anyone that knocks on my door, I go. So the system is not being established. So therefore, you look at the people as the cause of all this problems.
Well, I mean, you know, are you not blaming the victim? Because if you say the people are the problem, the people themselves, are they not victims of the kind of leadership that they have? Are there other issues? You know, what are the things that we can do to move the people beyond the level where they are? Will education be part of the solution? Do you think you are being fair to the ordinary people when you make this kind of statement?
I'm being fair to them because I'm knocking on their conscience and say, wake up.
No, you assume they have the capacity? You know, what can be done to raise the level of consciousness of the average Nigerian?
You need good leadership, let me put it that way. If I have the money, I would do all I can to get into power and then look at the problems of the people and begin to solve them. And begin to, using media, using the comedians to let them know this is where you have gone wrong in the past. That is part of education. Well, going to school is one. Being able to, ability to be able to think is another one. So many Nigerians, even the educated ones, lack what we are talking about. So we can't be pitying us that we are victims and then allow ourselves to keep going deeper and deeper into these problems.
You know, because take again the challenge of poverty.
Yes.
The man who collects 5,000 naira to go and vote, maybe at that particular moment, you know, that 5,000 naira is so important to him. That's one of the reasons why I said, you know, you are blaming the victim, because the people have already been so impoverished that even when they understand the issues, what you call the cognitive thing earlier on, you know, so.
Well, this is the point. Those who are impoverishing them have objectives, and they are attaining those objectives because they know the more impoverished they are, the better for them. So it is left for me, knowing that those who live in comfort want to die in comfort, and those who live in discomfort should say, hey, no, I'm not going to die in discomfort. That is what I'm saying. We need to keep saying it so that they can know it, they can be awake, and then say, well, I mean, I took 5,000 last year, 4 years ago for a vote. Where has that led me to? Can I just stand up and say to her with this 5,000 naira? It's difficult, but we must understand Indonesia. I think that's another country where they have four presidents in a day. I forgot which that country is now. I mean, they are also impoverished. But I don't know what's wrong with the darker people of the world. Really?
No, that's a racist comment. Anyway, all of this is about what Paulo Freire calls the pedagogy of the oppressed. But we won't have time to talk about that book right now. But what's your take on the new national minimum wage? I mean, in the last 2 days, we talked about national minimum wage in the context of the fact that South Africa has increased, you know, minimum wage. But here in Nigeria, we have this huge controversy between government and workers. about whether 30,000 naira is good enough or we should just stay with 18,000 or 24,000 naira?
The steps adopted, or the approach adopted in discussing, in establishing minimum wage in Nigeria is wrong. A state like Osun, if it says it cannot afford 30,000 naira, what do you expect? I think each state, that's another thing that I'm condemning about the Nigerian system. I cannot, as a president, I have other issues to deal with. Minimum wage should be left out to the state. Let labor go after all these governors. I mean, governors will tell you they don't have money to pay. You have to look at what they had, what some of these governors had before they became governors. What do they have now? You have to look at the money they are dashing out, the security votes. You have to look at ballooned staff that they had that were not just productive. You go to many governor offices, you see people just laying idle and they're getting paid. Okay? I mean, these are the things we need to consider. The other thing we need to consider, South Africa may increase its own to whatever it wants to increase it to. But why is cost of food rising in Nigeria? Why is cost of fuel unnecessarily rising? If you work on that, and the cost that you're going to spend those minimum wage on goes down, then you can now play with how much you want your minimum wage to be. Okay? But it doesn't make sense the moment our mothers, traders, now they know the rate of exchange between dollar and naira.
It's now 370 naira.
They know. You go to any market, they will tell you. So they know that once the strength of naira keeps depleting, they will have to ask for more for whatever they are selling. So can you now imagine if you say 30,000 naira, oh, you're taking yours, I'll take mine. The traders will also increase the cost of, so it goes pari passu. So I don't see a winning formula for Nigeria unless we sit down and look at what the ASMEN, how ASMEN is contributing to cost of food, how government itself is contributing to the rising prices of commodities. Okay, we need to look into that.
Very quickly, let me ask you this question on elections. I mean, you vied for governorship in Ogun State for 3 times. Yes. You did not succeed. And so you had problems with the electoral umpire in those elections. You complained about the conduct of the electoral umpire in the country. But since then, there has been a change of power, change of guard at INEC. Few elections have held under this new dispensation by Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. What is your assessment of INEC going into these elections?
I think INEC is not living to its independence. The word Independent National Electoral Commission. We have to be frank. This is our country. I would rather be loyal to the country rather than the party. Okay. INEC saw what happened in Osogbo, in Osun. And once you say that, many people will gang against you. They will say you are not loyal to the party. No, it's not about the party, it's about the country. What happened in Ekiti? All of us witnessed it. I don't care. King David sang in the Bible. If people think that it's a dancer they want to be their governor, for me, I don't care. When they have a dancer for 4 years, if all of them want to be dancers, it's going to be their headache. But it will not be left for INEC now to start playing games, because I watched those 2 elections. And I think they need serious improvement. They cannot be partitioned.
Well, quickly, I mean, you are from Ogun State. You've tried to be governor 3 times in that state. You are not running this time.
I'm doing that for you.
But what's your reading of the situation in Ogun State, the political situation at the moment? What's your forecast?
My default is to say the truth each time I'm being interviewed. But what I've observed is that people gang up against me. So if I'm going to plead the fifth on the Ogun State issue.
But it's a very peaceful state. I mean, nobody is going to fight you for expressing an opinion.
oh, they will not fight me, but they will secretly punish me. That has been done to me. So, because I mean, if I have to tell the truth, I will say it for Ogun State citizens. Okay? See, I'm getting into it now. That's why I said that's my default, is to tell the truth. One, I, as a governor, if I become governor of Ogun State today, I will have and exercise every right to support whoever that I believe will succeed me. But I will not put myself in the position of God, where I will say, if ABCD does not happen, I will not hand over. I will not put the president of this nation in a sensitive position. Come on. So what is happening in Ogun State and Imo is an example of how human beings handle issues. Okay, PDP has their own issues. You have you and the Excellency, knowing the game that two of you are playing, with Adebutu there, you have APC there. But see, when we talk about the people now who would decide for all of us, I will look at both of you and say, well, hey, when APC was formed, we have PDP members who rushed to APC. And that's another funny thing that I see in Nigeria. You hear people like Amechi talking about PDP when you were a member for PDP for many years. So which PDP are you talking about? So what's the difference between these two parties? That is why I'm saying we cannot allow the sweat of Chief Gani Fawemi to go down the drain. Maybe people should begin to look at other people in another party. Let there be a mixture. So that's the limit. Let me just limit myself to that when it comes to Ogun State, because I don't...
Thank you very much for coming to the morning show.
And it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Happy to
and
be
all
here.
the best.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
What you do.
Well, it's now time for a short break.